didn't work.
Getting there.
It takes a Boy Scout. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Okay, we're going to call the meeting to order. Pursuant to the New Jersey Open Publics Meeting Act, NJSA 10:4-10, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by advertising such notice in the Home News Tribune, the Asbury Park Press, the Board Office, the schools, and on Cablevision Channel 118 and Verizon Fios Channel 24, and by filing such notice with the Township Clerk. This meeting was scheduled for Tuesday, October 29th, 2019. The board will take formal action on payment of bills and other agenda items. Mr. Mara?
The Old Bridge Township Board of Education acknowledges that the law of this state establishes that members of the public, including members of the board, have the right to record public board meetings using audio or video recording devices, provided that that act of recording does not interfere with the business of this public board meeting. Therefore, the board makes it known that any such recording is to be considered the private recording of the individual and in no manner represents the official record of this board. The board therefore takes no responsibility for such private recording and completely disavows any future use.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Roll call, please.
DeCaro?
Here.
DePrima?
Here.
Dunn?
Here.
Ellis Foster?
Here.
Lent?
Here.
Reed?
Here.
Singh? Silikowski?
Here.
Callie?
Here.
Quorum exists.
Can we please rise for the pledge? I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment. Move the board acknowledge the death of Stacy Engel, former Old Bridge High School secretary, and Margaret Giro, retired elementary teacher, and express its deepest sympathy to her and her family. And have a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Okay, we're going to read our Code of Ethics Corner highlight of the month, and I believe Mr. Reed was our volunteer.
Madam President, I left my glasses at home, and I'm asking...
I'll tell you what, I'll read it. I haven't read it all year.
Thank you.
Okay, our Code of Ethics Corner highlight of the month. Hold confidential all matters pertaining to the schools which, if disclosed, would needlessly injure individuals or the schools. In all other matters, he or she will provide accurate information and, in concert with fellow board members, interpret to the staff the aspirations of the community for its school. Okay, moving on to approval of the minutes. May I have a motion, please?
I'll move it. I'll second. DeCaro.
Thank you. Any discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
DeCaro?
Yes.
DePrima?
Yes.
Dunn?
Yes.
Ellis Foster?
Yes.
Lent?
Yes.
Reed?
Yes.
Silikowski?
Yes.
Callie?
Yes.
Resolution 1 passes.
Okay, and we're going to move on to the report of the student representative. Dominic?
It's not, I handed most of you agendas. I had like 2 short, but it's not listed here, but as you may know, a week and a half ago, we had our Spirit Week followed by our homecoming dance, which every student said came out amazing. Starting yesterday till November 1st, we're gonna have Fall into Old Bridge Spirit Week. every day during lunches. Tuesday it's going to be, well, today was Poke the Pumpkin prize raffle and candy corn guess. We had 3 jars of candy corn, and students had to guess how many was in the jar. Tomorrow is pumpkin painting contest and guess the pumpkin's weight. Thursday is the mummy wrap contest, and Friday is fall photo shoot from photographers from Mr. Klein. And thank you to Dunkin' Donuts, Friendlies, and Old Bridge High School ShopRite for supplying our prizes. We already started wishes for AJ. All of the paper that we're using is most likely going to be recycled, and so it's clean, so we're not wasting paper. We intend to help AJ reach his goal of 250,000 wishes. And starting November 4th to the 18th, help change a holiday. An effort to raise as much money as possible to contribute to Stop and Shop's $60 holiday dinner program. Student Senate will collect spare change during lunches. Our goal is to collect enough coin change to sponsor 2 family meals. And November is also going to include Adopt a Family, Emmanuel Foundation, Middlesex County Food Drive, Toys for Tots hosted by Pier, and the annual Turkey Bowl by Red Cross. That's all.
Thank you. So I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Cittadino for recognition.
Thank you, Madam President. Always one of the highlights of the meeting for me is to recognize our students and staff for what they've done, whether in their personal or professional lives, that make our community a better place. Our first recognition this evening, I'm going to ask that we have Mr. Dolan from the Grade 9 Center Principal. Please come to the dais as we're going to recognize and have the Board of Education recognize Jovan Percoco, an Old Bridge High School 10th grader, for achieving the rank of Eagle Scout for building the habitat for Tanya the Turtle at the Grade 9 Center. Mr. Dolan, I do have your certificates here. What board member is going to, Kelly, you're going to go over for our 2 Eagle Scouts? Ms. Dolan.
Thank you, Mr. Cittadino. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Cittadino, Dr. Hoker, and the members of the Old Bridge Board of Education. It is my honor to recognize Jovan Percoco for earning the rank of Eagle Scout, which is the highest rank attainable in the Boy Scouts of America. He earned it on June 19, 2019. Jovan's scouting journey began as a first grader in 2010 as a Tiger Scout in Troop 129. Over the years, he participated in a multitude of scouting events, including community projects, such as beautification projects at local schools, places of worship, local parks, cleanups of roads, beachfronts, and food pantries. Along the way, he earned an amazing 50 merit badges. After accumulating those well-earned accolades and awards, Jovan set his sights on what every other highly motivated and dedicated Boy Scout aspires to, reaching the prestigious rank of Eagle Scout. Looking back, I believe it was at this point that Jovan set himself apart from his aspiring Eagle Scout contemporaries. Unlike other Eagle Scout projects that focus on improvement of or beautification of an existing or dilapidated community structure, Jovan dedicated his focus, his creativity to improving the life of a living animal. Tanya first arrived at the EMGNC in September of 2016, along with the transfer of Office Secretary Mrs. Glippin from Cooper. The red-eared slider turtles naturally has the ability to regulate its body temperature. Therefore, they enjoy the tranquil life of sunbathing on the sand or the rocks that line the shorelines of the lake, streams, and tributaries throughout its native southeastern United States of America. Seeing that Tanya's habitat was in need of an upgrade, Jovan recruited volunteers, acquired materials, and acted as a foreman for the project, which required him to acquire a large turtle tank, a filtration system. He built a cabinet with a steel frame to hold the tank turtle habitat and house the supplies and acquire the building and painting materials. Finally, an aquatic mural was painted in the hall above Tanya's new home. The unveiling of these improvements this past spring at the EMGNC allowed the students and staff of the school to share this beautiful, friendly turtle named Tanya with the entire community. And Joven will now leave a legacy for the class of 2023 and well beyond. Without further ado, it is my honor to introduce Joven Prococo for reaching the prestigious rank of Eagle Scout in 2019. Oh, the troop. Okay, the whole troop. Yeah, bring him up. Come on, bring him up. Yep. Let's go. Come on, guys. Bring it. Oh, my pleasure. It's an honor. Great. Have a good night. All right. Do not be a stranger. Just jump in the next one.
All right, Mr. Dolan, if you will stay there, I'm going to read into the record to have move the Board of Education to acknowledge Rory Yakubov, a teacher at the Ellen McDermott Grade 9 Center, for being selected as the winner of the $5,000 Classroom Makeover contest sponsored by National Business Furniture of Minnesota. For those of you who don't know Rory, she's an exceptional mathematics teacher, very popular with the students, and to be popular with students and being mathematics is not easy to do. She's all over social media, promoting the great stuff she does in the classroom. Very well deserved. Congratulations.
So as Mr. Cittadino said, Mrs. Yakubov has received the $5,000 National Business Furniture Classroom Makeover. She was the contest winner for 2019. Her room is now equipped with 12 dry erase tables and 30 student chairs, combined with all the existing technology in her room. To my knowledge, I think Rory has the first fully interactive classroom in the district, so congratulations. It's no surprise to myself or anyone else in the EMGNC or throughout the district, I think at this point, that Rory continues to be recognized for her excellence in the classroom. In recent years, her reputation has grown well beyond the halls of OBHS, where she is nationally recognized businesses such as Disney, Texas Instruments, as well as social media giants such as Instagram, seek her opinion, her insight, and her counsel on a myriad of educational concepts that range from the delivery of mathematical content to classroom decor on movie sets, believe it or not. Luckily, despite all those accolades, Rory continues to be dedicated to her first love, the students at Old Bridge High School. So I'd like to congratulate Rory on winning this award and her many other awards.
Okay. I'm going to put someone on the spot. I see an old but young friend in the audience, Roseanne Moran, our retired Director of Technology. I just need you to come up to the dais just to speak eloquently about the process of being a future-ready school district. Eloquently about the process, I say. So, for those of you who are not aware, this past week at the New Jersey School Boards Conference, the following schools and, most importantly, their staff, their community staff, were recognized for their future-ready school status. Miller School and McDivitt School both receiving the bronze, which I always say to everyone is not third place. It's the first step in your future-ready status. You have to receive bronze before you can receive silver. And then Memorial School receiving the silver recognition. But there she is. Thank you for being here. You look fantastic. Just tell us about the hard work and everybody who put so much into it, please.
I'm not used to this microphone, so is it on? Okay. Okay. I can always count on Mr. Cittadino to put me on the spot. For those of you who don't know, I retired in July as the district's Director of Technology, and for the past several years, we've been trying to motivate our schools to get involved in the Future Ready Schools New Jersey certification process. The state of New Jersey used to have very stringent requirements for technology plan, which has kind of gone by the wayside. And Future Ready certification has really replaced it. So what it focuses on is it focuses on your infrastructure, your equipment, how you use it in the classroom, how you train your teachers, how involved your students are with the community, project-based learning. Scott Titmus, our tech integration teacher, shaking his head because he knows what we're talking about when we say we find a need in the community to advertise something in one of our schools, and our students put forth an effort to create something. So this is a very, very difficult process. In the 2018 school year, our Memorial School received the first step, which was bronze certification. This year, Memorial School went to the next level, which is silver certification. And 2 other schools joined Memorial School, McDivitt School and Miller School. And I am very, very, very grateful. I asked Mr. Cittadino permission to come tonight because I really am so proud of what you've accomplished. And really, I guess that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Roseanne. Always good to see you. For the record, I did ask Ms. Moran to represent us at the school board's conference as the point person for the district because no one put more heart into it than she did in the beginning, making sure we were part of the process. She turned me down for her grandchildren, so understandable. So, oh. I can't. All right, so if at this time I can have one school at a time come up with their banner. I believe they're instructed to bring their banners here. So Dr. Giles from Miller School and your amazing staff, please come up to the stage with your banner so locally you can be recognized and a picture being taken. If you don't have the banner, it's okay too, but if you do, it's great. Okay, does any school have their banner? Because the banner is generic. You have the banner? Okay, good. Okay, good. There it is, sorry. Thank you. And if I can have this time, our Pauline, anybody from the tech department, Mr. Titmus, Mr. Yanizelli, please join as well. You're instrumental for every school being part of the process, so you should be up for all 3 pictures. Any tech that's here tonight? Ms. Moran, you should be up there too. Next, Miss Coletti and the remarkable staff at McDivitt School that made Future Ready status possible. Please come up to the stage as well with your banner. I know all schools receive their certificates in Atlantic City. McDivitt School, come on up. And the same delegates from the tech department, please stay there for the picture as well. Hi. There's no plank at the end of this, Michelle. Come on, smile. And our silver medal performance from Memorial School, Dr. Payton, and the amazing staff from Memorial School. Please come up and be recognized locally for your work. Okay. So our last item for recognition, but it's well-deserved and a long one. So move the Board of Education to recognize the following staff members for being named Microsoft Innovative Educator Experts for the 2019-20 school year. I'm calling up one at a time, and you'll receive your plaque from Dr. Hoker and Madam President Callie. At this time, a teacher from Sandburg School, Mr. Chris Barica. He's a Microsoft Innovative Educator Expert 2019-2020. Mr. Barica? Now, while Mr. Barrica is there, I probably should have had just, Mr. Yanizelli, I think we went over the stats the other day. How many of these experts are in the nation, or in New Jersey, I think we went for? So 300 across the nation, 15 in New Jersey alone, and we have 7 of them, I believe. So, almost half of them across the state of New Jersey are here in Old Bridge. Thank you very much. So, Mr. Barrica, if you can come over here afterwards, and we'll call you, and then you'll stand for the grand picture here at the end. Next, Miss Kristen DeGrorio, also from Sandburg Middle School. A Microsoft Innovative Educator, 2019-20 school year. From Southwood Elementary School, Mr. Andrew Lewis, another Microsoft Innovative Educator. From Miller School, Miss Linda Nasbo. Our Technology Integration Specialist, Mr. Scott Titmus. A woman who needs no introduction again tonight, but we will do it. Rory Yakubov, teacher at the Ellen McDermott Grave 9 Center.
Congratulations.
And James Yanizelli, Tech Integration Specialist for the district, another Microsoft Innovative Educator. Yes, yes. Great job, everyone. Thank you for making us so proud. I am.
Okay, may I please have a motion to move recognition?
I'll move it.
Thank you, Mrs. DeCaro.
Mr. Reed will second.
Thank you, Mr. Reed. Any discussion?
I'd just like to say, holy technology, Batman. Congratulations. I mean, so proud of all the technology awards that were given out today. I know our technology team is just, you know, the best ever. And I just, you guys are great, and just keep it up. And, you know, very proud of everybody and all your efforts. And also, a little place in my heart for Tanya the turtle. I did rescue a turtle years ago, and it would have been nice if it had a habitat, and so that was that's very nice, and congratulations on to Joven on that. That's it.
Madam President? A couple of quick words. I just want to congratulate Joven Pococco for making Eagle Scout. I see that they have left, but it's one of those things that when your son is part of the Cub Scouts, you see him grow up with these fine young boys. The last 3 meetings, we've had 3 Eagle Scouts who have been recognized for their contributions, and I can say unequivocally that these boys are a blessing to Old Bridge Township, and it shows you the quality of our students and our citizenship, and it's very important that we recognize them and support the Boy Scouts of America. They're doing incredible things, and again, as a board member, seeing these boys grow up from 5 years old to young men is just an incredible feat. Also, I want to commend the technology department here in this great district. It's a great recognition for Miller School. Ms. Giles, Principal Giles, also McDivitt with Principal Coletti, and also Memorial for their accolades in being a future-ready school. So congratulations, everyone. Thank you.
Okay, I think they said it all. But congratulations to all our recipients of recognition. Great job, everybody. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
DePrima,
Yes.
Dunn,
Yes.
Ellis Foster,
Yes.
Lent,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Silikowski,
Yes.
DeCarroll,
Yes.
Callie.
Yes.
Resolutions 1 through 4 passed.
Thank you. We'll move on to superintendent's report.
Sure, we have a few components of it tonight. Before I officially begin my report, I'm going to ask a guest speaker to join me as part of the superintendent's report. We have a great partnership with Relay for Life and the American Cancer Society, and our point person who's with us in that collaboration is Miss Vicki Allen. So I'd like her to come to the dais and do a special presentation tonight for, again, a group that's part of the fabric of our community and shows why we are a district of character and why empathy and love is always taught within our classrooms when it starts with our teachers.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Vicki Allen, and I'm a Senior Community Development Manager for the American Cancer Society, and I'm a staff partner to Relay for Life of Old Bridge. Thank you for the opportunity to recognize Old Bridge Public Schools for their absolutely incredible 2019 Relay for Life season. This year, the Old Bridge Public School District had 12 teams with 96 registered participants and raised $27,273. Give yourselves a round of applause. This represents 33% of the total raised throughout the whole 2019 Relay for Life of Old Bridge. Relay for Life is 100% volunteer-led and driven. That being said, an event like this would not be possible without key people. So I call them the MVPs of Relay. And in Old Bridge, we have quite a few. So as I call your name, can you please make your way to the front here to pose in front of this fantabulous banner we've created. Firstly, I'd like to recognize Mr. David Cittadino. Many thanks to you and your entire staff for their support and assistance in assisting our Old Bridge volunteers in putting on and planning this event. Next, I'd like to thank Carolyn Pachucki and the character ambassadors for their support running several fundraisers, including the second annual ice skating party. So if she's here, if she can come up, please. Next, many thanks to Mr. Dan Sullivan, Amanda Vanderstaw, and the Jonas Salk Middle School Animal Club for their amazing pup rally, which was televised on New Jersey 12, and their support of our canine companion walk, Bark for Life. They were instrumental in the event's success, raising over $1,500 and actively volunteering on the day of the event. Special thanks to Katie Whitman and Peggy Riley from Salk Pier, who helped with the pup rally. Each elementary school has embraced Relay and participated in activities such as Art Speaks Cancer program, working with the art teachers making luminaries to honor, celebrate, and remember cancer survivors and light the way during our luminaria ceremony. Schools even spearheaded their own fundraisers, selling t-shirts, organizing color runs, and Relay Recess events. Some key people and teams that we would like to acknowledge tonight: Glenn Gladiators, and team captain Lucy Kurtz, This team is the top fundraising team from the district, raising over $13,000 this year. And Captain Lucy Kurtz was recently recognized as the top 4th individual fundraiser in Central New Jersey Relay for Life. And she was also recognized as a Central New Jersey Volunteer of the Year. So, here you go. Thank you.
But I would also like to call up Laura Roberto and Kim Hussey, because without them, and Sarah Miliani, who's not here, without the 3 of them at Glenn, we would not be able to have done this. So please come up.
Okay. The Sherrod Tigers, Amanda Jenks, raised over $1,100. Amanda is an art teacher in several of the schools and assisted in other schools as well. With Team Voorhees, Renee Kraft raised over $3,300 with a relay color run and recess. Grissom Carpenter, Laura Ambos raised over $2,200 with her team. Teachers Against Cancer. This is a Southwood McDivitt team. It's led by the amazing Sarah Monahan and Cheryl Bakuda. And I know Cheryl's here tonight. Where is she? Will you come up? Oh, I feel sad. They're also part of our event planning committee. So not only did they lead the fundraising in their school, but they attended monthly meetings in the planning of the event. The Cheesequake Eagles, Soaring Against Cancer team, Sue Gorelowitz, raised over $800. Team Madison Park, Kimberly Kuna, raising over $500. Shepherd's Sharks, Take a Bite Out of Cancer, Lisa Petrillo, raising over $400. Team Memorial, Nicole Taylor, raising over $500. And special thanks to the Old Bridge Red Cross Club and peer leader volunteers for helping along with the events. And also special thanks to art teacher Laura McHugh. Where's Laura McHugh? For her efforts in the Art Beats Cancer program. Is she still here? She's gone. Okay. Okay. And we also would like to acknowledge the key supporters of our 2nd annual battle of 516 Blue versus Purple, the Old Bridge Police versus Old Bridge High School staff. I believe Vinny Galgano is here. Is he here? We would like to especially thank them and their support of the event and their donation of $1,000. So thank you very much. And I'm going to wrap it up. Last but certainly not least, we would like to mention a special group of people who are always there behind the scenes for over 12 hours the day of the event. They're in the behind the scenes, but they're in the forefront ensuring that relay runs smoothly. No matter what is asked, they help with a smile, and many times I don't even have to ask. They're fantastic. A very big thanks to the Best Relay for Life School District Maintenance Team, Kevin Canton, John Ginga, Gilberto Flores, and Jerome Brandon. The American Cancer Society and Relay for Life of Old Bridge, thank you so much for your support, and we are so grateful for this partnership with Old Bridge Public Schools, and we look forward to celebrating our 35th year of Relay in the Old Bridge School District 2020. See you there.
Real fast before I go into the commentary on that. Mr. Gajewski, do you know what kind of car it is? There's a car in the lot blocking another car. And just they need to have it moved before it's towed, but let's see. Yeah. Well, it's not mine. Okay. It's a red Hyundai Santa Fe. P39, JXM. It's like when you read the numbers 50-50 at the end. Oh, okay. So just a thought on that, on Relay for Life, and thank you, Miss Allen, for the accolades and everything, the partnership. I remember the first year taking part in it. I was a principal at Salk School, and I really didn't know much about it, but it was back in the day when it was overnight, the night before Father's Day, and I remember taking part in the event and sitting with Miss Karen Dunn, who had just, as a survivor, just gone through her treatments for cancer, and sitting with her husband, I think her son was there too, and we did the walks and everything, as other groups did too, and I know Dylan Mateka's family was there as well too, and I had visited him in the hospital quite a few times when he was going through his fight, and spent time with that family. But that's when I saw the value in it, because sitting there with the families talking about how life goes on, whether you lost someone or someone survived, life went on, and you lived it through the stories about the person who passed or about the struggles and how you moved on. And it was a night to celebrate that. And it was really amazing that, 4 o'clock in the morning, we're still talking, and we're sitting around, for somehow they let us have a fire back then. We sat around a fire and we all talked, and we raised lots of money, did lots of good things. But from that moment on, I was hooked on it. I said, we're always going to have that event here because it's very meaningful to so many people. So thank you, American Cancer Society, for partnering with us on that. Next, this October that just passed was National Hispanic Heritage Month. And I asked a few of our students to spend some time with us tonight to talk about what that means in our class and with our staff who teaches them. And they have a little presentation, a little reading they're going to do for us. So at this time, can I have Sergio Bajaro, Brianna Levy, and Delilah Figueroa please come to the dais and present us with your information about Hispanic Heritage Month, the month of October, and what it means to you.
Hispanic Heritage Month is a celebration of the many contributions Hispanic Americans have shared with the United States and globally. It serves as a source of identity, unity, and pride for all Hispanic cultures. It helps us to pay tribute to all the fantastic work and culture that Latinos have brought not only to the U.S., but also the world. This acknowledgement began in 1968 with the enactment of Hispanic Heritage Week, signed by President Lyndon B. Johnson. There is currently a numerous amount of Hispanic role models in our American society, such as the Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor, astronaut Ellen Ochoa, the first Hispanic woman to go to space, playwright Lin-Manuel Miranda, creator of Broadway's Hamilton, and many, many more.
Sonia Sotomayor is the first Hispanic Supreme Court justice influencing the modern U.S. decisions that take place now. She represents and inspires a large percentage of Hispanics that aspire to be in governmental positions, as well as renowned societal Latino figure is Lin-Manuel Miranda, a Broadway star turned mainstream. He has a huge charitable impact on Hispanic countries like Puerto Rico, which was devastated after Hurricane Maria.
Inspirational Hispanic figures even begin in Old Bridge. One of those is Junot Diaz, who added beautiful written works to the world of literacy, receiving numerous literatures and writing awards, as well as being involved in the U.S.-Japan Creative Art Fellowship. Tamara Remedios created Explore Communications, a community marketing agency, and our very own U.S. Olympian Lauren Hernandez, who received numerous medals, silver and gold, for her talents in gymnastics.
Latinos make up about 18% of the United States population, making up the largest minority. They have inspired and influenced us with their foods such as tacos, enchiladas, and empanadas. Their music with artists like Mark Anthony and Shakira. They've contributed in fields such as fashion with the contributions of designers like Oscar de la Renta and Carolina Herrera, and in sports with many great athletes like Mariano Rivera, Luis Severino, Rafael Nadal, and many, many more. Throughout the month of October, we honor and celebrate Latino culture, Since the birth of America, Hispanics have influenced all aspects of life.
It's celebrated with art festivals, carnivals, conferences, gatherings, and more. It also features the independence revolution taken by countries such as El Salvador, Honduras, and more. When we support such a huge culture that is a part of America, we show our recognition for the work of Hispanics have done to help grow the United States and its prospering cultures. Many of our own Old Bridge classes work towards recognizing and appreciating Hispanic Heritage Month. Shiraz students celebrated and learned about Hispanic Heritage Month during art class while learning about Dia de los Muertos. Students were shown items brought back from Mexico showcasing local artisan works as well as their culture. As students began their art pieces, Mrs. Jenks introduced artists such as Frida Kahlo and various children's books illustrators. Students showcased their knowledge with the project using their creative talents based on inspiration from Disney Pixar movie Coco, Sugar Skulls, and Kahlo's use of Mexican marigold. Students were delighted to explore more in depth of one of their favorite movies while celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month.
Now please enjoy a presentation from our elementary school ESL students sharing their All About Me projects in both English and Spanish, where students and teachers use a green screen to create their own mini movies. Gracias.
Sergio, Brianna, Delilah, thank you so much for putting that together and spending your time with us tonight. Thank you, and thank you to your teachers who inspired you to do so, and our ELL teachers at the elementary school level. Thank you, Madam Keeler, for rounding us all up for us. Thank you again. Oh, there's more video. Go ahead, go for it. Muy bien. Again, thank you very much. I do want to say that at the September meeting, we did announce that for the first time ever as a sponsorship from School District of Old Bridge, we will be sponsoring our Spanish learning students to go to Costa Rica in June to study abroad. So that's now five languages that we send students internationally to study abroad. I don't think there's any school district in the state of New Jersey that does 5 languages with students learning internationally. Great stuff. Thank you very much. At this time, we're going to get ready for our required and testing report with our supervisor of assessment, Jeff Caulfield. I know there'll be some other assessment slides from Madame Keeler as well. Then at the conclusion of that portion, I will wrap up my comments under the superintendent's report and progress towards goals.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Cittadino, Dr. Hooker, Old Bridge Township Board of Education. It is my pleasure to introduce Ms. Anita Keeler to present regarding ELL students right now. Thank you.
They say it's age before beauty, so that's why they let me go first. Thank you, Mr. Caulfield. I'm going to be presenting a little bit of information about our ELL students and a state-mandated test that they take every year called the Access for ELLs. We currently have 201 students district-wide, K through 12, who are participating in the ELL program. The exit eligibility, which I feel is more important than the entrance eligibility, is based on, excuse me, I'm sorry. Let me first just explain what the Access for ELLs is. It is a state-mandated, federally mandated test that all ESL students do take. It is designed with WIDA, which is an ESL consortium, and it measures their English language development skills, and it basically measures them on social instructional language and then also the language of those 4 academic areas. Now I will talk about the exit eligibility, which is based on multiple criteria. We believe that students should not be exited or entered into a program based simply on one single criterion. The one criterion that the state has now developed for us and says that we must follow is a 4.5 cut score. What that means for us is on the Access for ELLs, which students take every year once they are determined to be ELL students, is they must score a 4.5 in a scoring of 0 through 6 to prove that they are English proficient. Our goal is always to have students exit because we want them to be mainstreamed into the general education classroom. So as much as we love our ESL students, and you saw some of the beautiful work a little while ago on those videos from some of our elementary ELL students, the goal is for them to exit. We base the criterion first and foremost on the 4.5 out of a 6.0 scale on that access test, but it is also based on these following criteria. We have a form, an English language observation form, on which the ELL teacher, classroom teacher, report cards, related arts teachers all collaborate, come together, and then make a wise decision as to whether or not that child should be eligible to exit from ELL. So what I will share with you now are the scores for access. In order to be fair, we could not test them necessarily on PARCC because a lot of our ELL students who are first year ELL students or recently arrived students from other countries are ineligible to participate in PARCC. And so therefore we test them with the access test. Our elementary students, as you can see this year for 18-19, were at an 18% passing rate. So approximately 18% of them were able to exit out of ESL. Now that is actually an excellent number. It's a good percentage of students to be able to exit. We're always looking to raise that score because we want more and more students to exit. However, just keep in mind that our ELL population is very transitory. They're fluid. Some of them come. They may not stay for a full year. They may leave. So it's difficult to gauge from year to year as to whether or not the students are improving or not. But this will hopefully give us some idea of whether our students are meeting the 4.5 goal. And that's it. Now we're done. No, it's not. Thank you. Sorry about that. Our middle schools this past year for 18-19, there were also 18% of our students who met the cut score of 4.5 in order to be eligible to exit. However, if you notice, even with our elementaries, the majority of our student population seems to score right around in the average, which is 3.5 to 4.4. So we're constantly pushing them to try and do better. Our high school students, last year there were approximately 33 students in the high school population. Out of that, 3% of them scored in 4.5 or higher. You also need to keep in mind some of those students who are recently arrived or first-year students are much older, and so learning English and being mainstreamed into their general education classes at the high school level is going to be a lot tougher and a lot more challenging than it would be for an elementary student, where they're able to be pulled out or rather have ESL teachers push into their classrooms during the day. Yes. I keep pressing the wrong button. I am pressing the arrow. It's age, I'm telling you. Wasn't me. Thank you. And now very quickly, the elementary, middle, and high comparison scores. If you notice, if you look at the 4.5 to 5.4 again, we improved this year compared to last year. Last year they were at a 16% in elementary. This year we had 18% passing rate. Same thing with the middle school. They were at 8% last year, and 18% of our students met the target score of 4.5, and I attribute that to an after-school program and to our phenomenal teachers in the middle school as well, including Ms. Rivera, who currently teaches at Sandburg. And at the high school, again, as you can see, we have a little bit of work to do, but as I said, the older students have a more difficult time meeting that target score. Oh, I did it again. Oh my God, he's going to kill me. And finally, when we compare our scores from Old Bridge from 17-18, 18-19 to the 17-18 New Jersey state averages, you see that we have scored higher during both years. And so we're hoping that that's an upward trend, and we're going to keep it going. And that's it. Thank you. And now, the beauty.
Thank you, Ms. Keeler. So the topics tonight for our assessment report will include the NJSLA implementation and results, the College Board data, which will include the PSAT, SAT historical data, as well as advanced placement testing. Worthy of note right now, the PSAT, we administered over 2,000 PSATs to grades 9 through 11 students on October 16th, a very successful day, which will kind of demonstrate the improvements throughout the presentation. In 2018, New Jersey adopted the New Jersey Student Learning Assessment to replace PARCC in previous assessments in the elementary and middle schools in language arts and mathematics. Students took NJSLA in language arts in grades 3 through 10. Students took NJSLA mathematics assessments in grades 3 through 8 and end-of-course assessments in Algebra 1, Geometry, and Algebra 2. The state listened. They had talked to all of the people involved, all the stakeholders. They definitely wanted to hear from the public, from the teachers, from the coordinators, and what the difference was between the NJSLA and the PARCC was that it's shorter. They decreased the number of testing units as well as the testing times, which was embraced from all different perspectives, whether in the schools or in the homes. Now to the numbers. 8 grade levels were tested in ELA and mathematics. This will include 17 district data points comparing results with the state of New Jersey. Old Bridge Township Public Schools outperformed the state in 13 of the 17 areas, which is the highest percentage that we have outperformed the state since we began the PARCC in 2015. So I'll run through the grade levels, showing how we compare to the state. Again, for each one of these slides, Old Bridge is the blue column and the state of New Jersey is red. So in grade 3, Old Bridge outperformed the state in both ELA and mathematics. See a similar results in grade 4, where we significantly outperformed the state in both areas. Similar in grade 5, outperformed the state in both areas. So this is the 5th year that we have outperformed the state in both ELA and math in the elementary level, which is exemplary. Now on to the middle school. In grade 6, we outperformed the state in both ELA and mathematics. Similar result in grade 7. And for the first time since 2015, Old Bridge outperformed the state in all of the areas at the middle school level. again, exemplary performance. Now moving on to the high school. At the high school, the state outperformed the high school slightly in ELA as well as in Algebra 1. So noteworthy that the Algebra 1 assessment isn't necessarily grade 9 students. It's any student who's enrolled in Algebra 1, which could be inclusive of grade 8 as well as grade 10 students. For grade 10 ELA, the state outperformed Old Bridge here, and we were very close in geometry. So one of the differences between the SLA and the PARCC, the state does not have us testing grade 11 students at this time. I think they're trying to look towards where we're going to move. There's been a lot of press regarding statewide assessment in the state of New Jersey. So we did not test grade 11 students last year. So this population of Algebra 2 students represents grade 9 and 10 students enrolled in Algebra 2. The NJSLA parent letter and score report. Paper score reports were received in September and sent home in early October. There's significant data is provided to each one of the families regarding student performance, as well as abundant resources on the NJDOE website. So what is Old Bridge doing with the data in order to improve instruction? There are three main components to what we're doing with the data. A grade level analysis by school. A SOAR the Scores report is provided to each principal, with each grade level demonstrating significant strengths and or weaknesses in each one of the clusters of the NJSLA data. Similar information is given to each one of our teachers, where they receive a SOAR the Scores current roster report from last spring's statewide assessment. So each one of the students in their classes, our teachers can see their strengths and weaknesses within each one of those clusters to provide them a better opportunity to group their students and differentiate instruction. Also, comprehensive resources shared with the instructional leadership team. So I'm going to transition to the College Board data. If there's any questions regarding the statewide assessment, or we could wait. So College Board historical data, SAT, advanced placement, and PSAT are important indicators of growth and improvement. Following is an analysis of all College Board 5 and 9-year data. I'll explain why it's 9 years when we get to the AP results. Thank you, Old Bridge Township Board of Education, for supporting the PSAT initiative in 2013. Throughout the successive slides, you can see the drastic improvement from 2012 to 2014, which could be attributed directly to the PSAT initiative at Old Bridge High School. Advanced placement testing, percentage of total students scoring 3+, which is considered to be scoring at the collegiate level. You will see in 2019 there is no red column for New Jersey. The College Board has stopped providing statewide data regarding AP testing, also SAT. I called everyone I could and could not find an answer to why that would be, but they are not reporting statewide data. So a little less information that's going to be provided because we have nothing to compare it to, but you can see that we improved 5.5% from last year, the percentage of students scoring 3+ on our AP exams. So for the last 9 years, you can see the total AP students that we've had take AP exams at Old Bridge High School. So more than 3 times the number of students are taking AP exams at Old Bridge High School, which is impressive. And again, you can see that 2012, 13, 14, where we kind of start that gradual climb. The reason why I like to show 9 years of data here is not only do you want to demonstrate growth and improvement, but you also need to sustain that growth and improvement, which is what we have done. Our goal would be to be in the neighborhood of like 475 AP students. AP exams, obviously this is going to be a direct correlation between the number of AP students as well. You can see the same, about triple the number of AP exams that we're administering at the high school. And a similar trend where we're now demonstrating sustainability as well as growth and improvement in the world of College Board testing. Now on to the SAT data. SAT, it's the ERW, it's the evidence-based reading and writing, formerly verbal. You can see that, again, there's no statewide data that has been provided to the coordinators, but we did score exceptionally well in the area of evidence-based reading and writing. Our target would definitely be to be 550 or above, and you can see that we scored 555. For the SAT math, similar trend. Our goal would be to score above 550 with an overall goal of scoring an average of 1100 on the SAT. So we did meet that goal in mathematics as well. Where for the first time, Old Bridge High School has averaged over 1100 for 3 consecutive years on the SAT, which is impressive. So that is our goal, and we've been able to sustain that goal for 3 successive years, which has been impressive. Thank you, Old Bridge Township Board of Education, Mr. Cittadino and Dr. Hooker, for your continued support and the opportunity to present our annual testing report. Thank you very much. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Caulfield. Thank you, Ms.
Welcome.
Keeler.
Thank you.
Just on the conclusion of wrapping up the notes from the superintendent's report, during this week I had kind of 2 events that kind of coincided with me having the closing comments for tonight. So from a contact of mine at ABC News, I received correspondence asking, you know, there's so much good stuff that comes out of the district. They've seen from a lot of the Be Kind initiatives, and ABC News is doing their own Be Kind initiative. So if you must have seen on Twitter, I put out there a few things trying to link our Be Kinds to their Be Kind coverage that they're trying to do, not only locally on the local news, New York news, but nationally as part of their coverage and trying to, you know, change the news feed that's out there. A lot of times negative to, you know, the positive stuff that we do in our communities and that Old Bridge is no stranger to. And so having that in mind, I was looking at that. And also, I'd be remiss if I didn't comment that Joanne Salino, who is the receptionist at the front desk at Central Administration, is retiring. And she asked me recently about, you know, one of her charges that were given to her when she first took over the job 35 years ago? I think it was about 35 years ago. That she'd take clips from the newspapers and keep a daily, you know, anytime Old Bridge is in the news, good or bad, the school district to put it in, start off in binders and then CDs. And so just taking a look at some of those things, and we were cleaning out some storage trailers that we had, and I found an old binder from back in 2009, and it was really quite an eye-opening flip through a binder that the daily news cycle was about probably the lowest point in this district's history, this town's history, the Dr. Sinha murder. And some of you who are new to the community might not even know about it. But it was 5 students from Old Bridge on summer break and recess. Took place in an event that led to Dr. Sinha, a respected doctor and scientist, his death in the streets of Old Bridge. And we couldn't get out of that news cycle. It was not only local, it was national, it was international. And if you Google it yourself, it was covered almost every day in India as well. And that was the international picture of Old Bridge in our schools for almost 4 years until the conclusion of the trial that took place. And there are many different parts of the trial, and some of those who were being tried didn't always behave properly when out on bail or whatever. So it never seemed to me as someone working in the district could get out of the paper. It was just on the home news cover every day. If not, that was the good day. It's just home news. It's on the USA Today. It was on everything. And that was, like I said, for 4 years. And to be at the point where now where ABC News is contacting me saying, listen, so many good things are under our Be Kind initiative that we want you to just start blasting them out to us so we can talk about that Be Kind that's going on there. And, you know, we're not talking about that kind of negative event that took place in 2009 that didn't define us, that allowed us to go forward and move forward. We talked about things like A.J. Silvestri, which Dominic talked about today, who's trying to raise 250 letters, 250,000 letters, which means $500,000 to Make-A-Wish Foundation. And not only that amazing that he wants to do it as a good kid and is an amazing person, but because he was a recipient of Make-A-Wish, that he wants to give it back. And, you know, I can't go through all of them, you know, just going through my local recent social media stuff, like Anthony of Toronto shaves his head every year because of his cousin who was battle with cancer. We talk about what this whole entire campus did for Marissa Tafaro Foundation when they made it Christmas in September to fulfill a little girl's wish that her parents, when they were in the hospital with their daughter, they recognized right around Christmas time that we didn't have time to go shopping for her for Christmas because she's been in the hospital, and the hospital opened up a door to a wealth of toys that they can go in and give to their daughter, and they said that their wish was to fill that room up, and all they had to do was ask the students and the staff within this district to help with that dream, and within weeks, it was snowing in Lombardi Field in September, and a truck was full of toys for the hospital. So we have come so far from a district, from a community that took an event that could have defined us, didn't let it define us, healed us, and made us better. And I want to recognize this community for doing that. I think it's only 10 years ago, and how far we've come to now, ABC News is reaching out and saying, tell us of the good stuff that's going on there. So thank you very much, Old Bridge, and everything you do to make this community better. Thank you. Oh, that concludes my superintendent's report, and that's what a National District of Character means to me.
Thank you, Mr. Cittadino. Do we have any correspondence? We do not. I have on my notes from the agenda meeting that we have 3 special committee reports. Who will start? Us, Mr. Silikowski?
Yes, we do. Okay, I had a curriculum meeting, and I was also at the technology meeting, and we had a policy meeting. All 3 this month. Okay, at the curriculum meeting, Ms. Jessica Mankowski from Stress Care presented to the committee on a collaborative program offered between Stress Care and Old Bridge High School to help students facing issues of mental health and substance abuse. Old Bridge High School will host counseling groups for students in conjunction with Stress Care, and district will monitor the success of these groups. A student must complete approximately 6 sessions to qualify and to move on, okay, to be released from that program. It's long overdue. This is something that we should have looked in a long, long time ago, because we do have a lot of students with a lot of problems, and hopefully we can solve some of these problems for these kids. Dr. Jean Ferrer presented Intervision's math rollout at the middle school program overview and a 2-year elementary study progress and visions in the future of the programs. Ms. Christine Dougherty presented an overview of the extended school year program, which takes place in the summer for special service projects. I believe we have 135 kids that went through the program this past summer, and the program covered art, music, physical education, social skills, and each day the student was exposed to 20 minutes of one of the things I just discussed. Parent Involvement Day, Patriotic Day, Science Day, Glenfield Day, so the parents were also involved in this program. Mr. Cittadino provided an overview of block scheduling initiative that the district is examining for the future and possibly implementing at the high school level. Ms. Keeler presented a proposed Costa Rica study abroad program, Mr. Cittadino mentioned this before, for a group of students that will be going there, I believe, the end of June and beginning of July. And I came up with a proposal on developing a summer internship program with the goal to help district complete summer tasks. You know, there's a lot of work around the district that has to be done in each school, whether it's fixing furniture, painting doors, sanding, and we can hire some of these kids, at-risk students, for the summer program, and they would have to probably be juniors. And one of the teachers would probably, that are certified in the area, would run that program. And that's all I have on that particular meeting. And the policy meeting, I believe our council will discuss that a little bit, very briefly.
Very briefly. Should I put
Very
the timer
briefly.
on? Yeah, we We met on October 10th, and the Policy Committee and Administration discussed 18 new or revised policies and regulations, which are listed on Section 16 on page 5 of the agenda. Many of them are updated to reflect current language from state regulations and just updated language without too much substantive change. There are some reporting requirement updates on child endangerment issues as part of increased student safety regulations. The new Paid Sick Leave Act is involved in policy 1642, which will affect very few Old Bridge employees, but will affect some. There are some tighter timelines for federal grant reimbursement and some more frequent verifications for transportation personnel in light of some of the negative headlines, not from Old Bridge, but from around the state over the last several years. Other than that, it's just updates of policies in the regular course of business.
Thank you, Mr. Parton.
Thank you, Mr. Selikowski and Mr. Parton. And technology?
So I'll try to be brief. So we had our first technology meeting. Can I say anything more about our phenomenal technology organization and all of our people who work in the technology department? It was, in today you saw, what a great staff we have. But over the summer it was very busy. There was network switch upgrades, server upgrades, got some new Perkins equipment in, and we deployed and not fixed, what is that? I can't think of words. It's been a long meeting. Made ready, how's that? 600 HP streams out across the district. Also started the implementation of a new printing system that will save a lot of paper and money, creating some more centralized printing for large mass printing jobs, and that started to roll out across the district. We also had a really great discussion last month. Mr. Lenegro brought up and I would say an issue over at Sandburg that we wanted to really try to help some students a little bit more, making sure they were equipped to really be able to use the technology. And so several teachers, Kristen and others showed up. We had a really, really great discussion. We are, as you saw earlier, we're down a director, and anybody who knows Mrs. Moran, it's a huge job to fill, but the staff is being phenomenal. Both all of the techs, Mr. Yanazelli, Mr. Titmus, Pauline and Sean in the office, and other duties picked up either by Mr. Cetadino or Dr. Tui, making sure that we don't lose the great quality. So we're going to continue to work on those, making sure we still have lines of communication open to know if there are issues that need to be addressed, how we can address them quickly, and really make sure that the technology is available for the students. So I thank everybody as part of this technology group and this just phenomenal, seeing all the work that's being done and things we're able to give our kids that is just letting them flourish. So then that was kind of what we did there.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to hearing of the residents on agenda items only. Anybody? Okay, I'm going to close that portion of the meeting. We need to go, I'm told we need to go into executive session, and I'm going to turn the mic over to Mr. Parton.
Yes, unfortunately, because we have an agenda item that the board's going to be asked to vote on tonight, the superintendent and I have to briefly fill the board in on that issue and a quick OBEA negotiations update, which is always an important issue. We honestly anticipate it taking less than 10 minutes, and we need a motion for exec session for negotiations and personnel.
Okay, can I have a motion, please?
Dunn will make the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Dunn. May I have a second, please?
Lentil second.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstains? Going into executive session.
Okay, we will be back. See, I promised we'd be back. Okay, just to put it on the record, Mr. Parton says I need a motion to come out of executive session.
I'll move it.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? We're out of executive session.
Okay. Now we're moving on to policy, which is no action because it's just the first reading. Okay. Curriculum and professional development. May I have a motion, please, to move items 1 through 7?
Lent will move it.
Thank you. May I have a second?
DeCarroll, second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Ellis Foster?
Yes.
Lent?
Yes.
Reed?
Yes.
Silikowski?
Yes.
DeCarroll?
Yes.
DePrima?
Yes.
Dunn?
Yes.
Callie?
Yes.
Resolutions 1 through 7 pass.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to athletics. I need a motion, please, to move item 1.
Dunn will move athletics. Item 1, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Dunn. May I have a second, please?
DeCarroll will second.
Thank you, Mrs. DeCaro. Any discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Lent?
Yes.
Reed?
Yes.
Silikowski?
Yes.
DeCarroll?
Yes.
DePrima?
Yes.
Dunn?
Yes.
Ellis Foster?
Yes.
Callie?
Yes.
Resolution 1 passes.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to finance. I need a motion to move items 1 through 13, please.
Dunn will make a
We'll move
motion to
item-
move.
I'm sorry.
I'll second.
Okay, who was first? Okay, thank you, Mr. Reed. Thank you, Mr. Dunn. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Reed?
Yes.
Silikowski?
Yes.
DeCarroll?
Yes.
DePrima?
Yes.
Dunn?
Yes.
Ellis Foster?
Yes.
Lent?
Yes.
Callie?
Yes,
Resolutions 1 through 15 pass.
thank you. Non-certificated personnel office. Just one item. May I have a motion, please?
Lent will move it.
Thank you, Mrs. Lent. Second, please.
Dunn
I'll
will
second.
second.
Who are we taking? Mr. Dunn. Thank you, Mr. Dunn. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Silikowski?
Yes.
DeCarroll?
Yes.
DePrima?
Yes.
Dunn?
Yes.
Ellis Foster?
Yes.
Lent?
Yes.
Reed?
Yes.
Callie?
Yes,
Resolution 1 passes.
thank you. Okay, non-certificated personnel operational. I need a motion, please, to move items 1 and 2.
I'll move it.
Separating one for discussion.
Yes, we can do that. Okay, Ms. Alice Foster, may I have a second, please? Thank you, Mrs. DeCaro. And I see that we have a retirement of 45 years. That's extremely impressive. Discussion?
Madam President, we have 6 retirees tonight.
Yeah, I know, I was going one by one.
And there's, and I believe at the agenda meeting, there was only, I believe, 4. And I mentioned at the meeting that I think we may have a couple of more, and we did wind up with them. Okay, I'm gonna read off all the retirements at one time. This will be a little easier as we go on. Okay, the first one is Michael Roberts. He was in maintenance department, and I worked with him for quite a few years. He had 45 years in. I don't know if anybody besides myself and Mr. Reed that had that many years. Then we have Anna Provinciali. She was at Miller School. She was a noon hour supervisor. She had 22 years. Susan Klein, this is Jonas Salk, Middle School, 34 years. Christine Gotch, this is Ellen McDermott School, 20 years. Patricia Rayner, Carl Sandburg Middle School, 35 years. And Linda Palumbo, this is the Director of Transportation, 25 years. We have a total of 181 years of service. And I want to congratulate all these people. 4 of them I know personally because my grandkids went through the system over here, and they're very good teachers. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Solikowski. Any further discussion on?
Mr. Carroll, I'd just like to thank Mr. Roberts for his years of service and his dedication to the district.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, may I have a, sorry, I already have a motion. Roll call, please.
Solikowski?
Yes.
DeCaro?
Yes.
DePrima?
Yes.
Dunn?
Yes.
Ellis Foster?
Yes.
Lent?
Yes.
Reed?
Yes.
Callie?
Yes,
Resolution 1 passed.
thank you. Non-certificated personnel, other. May I have a motion, please, to move items 1 through 12?
DeCaro, move it.
Thank you, Mrs. DeCaro. May I have
Lent will second.
Thank you, Mrs. Lent. Any discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
DeCaro?
Yes.
DePrima?
Yes.
Dunn?
Yes.
Ellis Foster?
Yes.
Lent?
Yes.
Reed?
Yes.
Solikowski?
Yes.
Callie?
Yes.
Resolutions 1 through 12 passed.
Okay, certificated personnel. May I have a motion, please, to move items 1 through 22?
Dunn will move certificated personnel items 1 through 22, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Dunn. May I have a second, please?
Lent will second.
Thank you, Mrs. Lent. Any discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
DeCaro?
Yes.
DePrima?
Yes.
Dunn?
Yes.
Ellis Foster?
Yes.
Lent?
Yes.
Reed?
Yes.
Solikowski?
Yes.
Callie?
I am abstaining on item 4A, otherwise, yes.
Resolutions 1 through 22 passed.
Thank you. Okay, non-certificated personnel transportation. May I have a motion, please, to move items 1 through 3?
I'll move it.
Thank you. May I have a second, please?
Lent will second.
Thank you, Mrs. Lent. Any discussion?
Yes, Ms. Callie, I would also like to thank Ms. Palumbo for her years of service and her dedication to the district.
Thank you, Mr. Mara.
Yeah, I would like to echo that. That is a huge job behind the scenes that does not get the credit it is due. It is early mornings, so much to handle, making sure our kids are out the door, safe to school and back. So congratulations, Linda, but hopefully you're not going to wander too far and still help us out.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, roll call, please.
DePrima?
Yes.
Dunn?
Yes.
Ellis Foster?
Yes.
Lent?
Yes.
Reed?
Yes.
Solikowski?
Yes.
DeCaro?
Yes.
Callie?
Yes.
Resolutions 1, 2, and 3 passed.
Thank you. Okay, supplies, equipment, and services. May I have a motion, please, to move items 1 through 3?
Dunn will move supplies, equipment, and services items 1 through 3, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Dunn. Second, please.
Lent will second.
Thank you, Mrs. Lent. Any discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Dunn,
Yes.
Ellis Foster,
Yes.
Lent,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Solakowski,
Yes.
DeCarroll,
Yes.
DePrima,
Yes.
Callie.
Yes.
Resolutions 1, 2, and 3 pass.
Thank you. Transportation. May I have a motion, please, to move items 1 through 5?
Carol will move it.
Thank you, Mrs. DeCaro. Second, please. Thank you, Mr. Dunn. Any discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Ellis Foster,
Yes.
Lent,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Solakowski,
Yes.
DeCarroll,
Yes.
DePrima,
Yes.
Dunn,
Yes.
Callie.
Yes.
Resolutions 1 through 5 pass.
Thank you. Okay, miscellaneous. I need a motion to move items 1 through 10, please.
Separating two for discussion.
Okay. A motion, please.
Carol will motion.
Thank you, Mrs. DeCaro. Second, please.
Lent will second.
Thank you, Mrs. Lent. Okay, discussion on items 1 and 3 through 10.
Yeah, this is on the committee attendance. I believe Dr. Tui.
Mr. Solakowski?
Yeah.
I just wanted to see if there was any discussion on items 1 and 3 through 10.
No, okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I would just like to remind everyone that the agenda session meeting for the month of November will be on Thursday, not Tuesday, but Thursday, November 14th. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mara. Any other discussions on 1 and 3 through 10? Okay, discussion on number 2?
Yeah, I was at all these meetings, and I believe Dr. Tui, he's now the executive director of curriculum. He took the other fellow's job, and he's not listed on any of these meetings over here. Which is 1 and 2. The policy meeting he wasn't at.
That's correct, he was at both of those meetings.
Just a minor change, that's all, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Solakowski. Everybody just take a quick look and make sure that the meetings you attended are reflected correctly. Any other discussion or changes? Okay, roll call, please.
Lent,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Solakowski,
Yes.
DeCarroll,
Yes.
DePrima,
Yes.
Dunn,
Yes.
Ellis Foster,
Yes.
Callie.
Yes.
Resolutions 1 through 10 pass.
There's nothing under board secretary and board business, so we're going to open the floor to hearing of residents on any school district-related issue.
Better? I have a question on the potential sale of the Jake Brown property, which is, I believe, listed for $10 million being asked for it. It is my understanding that if and when that is sold, that $10 million must go into a capital fund. It can't be used toward operating costs in the district. Is that correct?
No, that is not correct. It can go into capital fund, go into capital reserve fund, maintenance reserve, or emergency reserve.
All right, but they're all related to maintenance, or they're not, in other words, can it be used to fund any of the programs in the district?
No.
All right, that's clarification I was trying to get, thank you. The second question is that similarly, I think that that would apply if and when Cheesequake School is closed as well for the funds realized from that sale.
So your question is, if Cheesequake School was sold, would there be the same restrictions on
Yes.
those proceeds? Yes.
Right. And what is the status of the easement issue on Cheesequake School?
We are still in the process of conducting a search on that. It is a 150-year search with a very cold trail, so it's in process.
And last but not least, there was, I got to watch the candidates' nights, and my ballot position and one of my running mates was listed incorrectly, which Mr. Maras addressed. But for those people who have watched that and embedded it in their memory, I just want to clarify. I'm not ballot position F, and Mr. Asatuli is not ballot position E. We are respectively H1, H2, and H3, and we wouldn't want anybody to make a mistake. Thanks for your time.
Good evening. I just wanted to comment on the testing report. To start with the PSAT, I was instrumental in bringing that particular item to the Old Bridge School District. After several conversations and working with Mr. Sasso, who jumped on board immediately for that, we were able to institute that. Over the years, we've had a variety of obstacles and people who were trying for a variety of reasons, whether it was cost or whether it was the actual physical implementation across the grade levels for that test. So there was some opposition for that. I am just very happy to hear that Dr. Caulfield has now 9 years of historical data to back up the fact that that was a very important implementation for the school district. So for those children who are college-bound, the PSAT gives you a true view of the questions that you get right and get wrong and actually supply the correct answer. So you can self-assess how to improve your score before you get to be a junior and take it when it's the official number. So. I don't know if I'm last.
Is there anybody else? Okay. Since Mr. Weber clarified the ballot positions, I just wanted to say that when the candidates' night was held, the ballot positions were as they were drawn and given to us by the county clerk's office, and they were numbered 1 through 7. So I'm going to clarify the rest of the candidates. Mrs. Burns, Mrs. Teresa Burns is ballot position E. Mrs. Callie, that's me, ballot position F. Mr. Giordano is ballot position G, and Mrs. Andriani is ballot position I. So if there's any confusion, if there's, well, actually, I'm sorry, there shouldn't be any confusion, but I just wanted to put it out there that the President's Council was unaware that when the sample ballot and the mail-in ballot came out, that the county clerk's office would use letters instead of numbers. Thank you. And since there wasn't anybody else, I'm going to close this portion of the meeting. Any old business?
Yeah, new business. Old business, there's a lot of it.
Any old? No old? Okay.
No old.
New?
Yeah, I want to congratulate all the students and the adults that were in the recognition portion of the program. And again, I want to congratulate all the new hirees and the retirees. They put a lot of years in. And I would like to congratulate Jill DeCara on her birthday today. I said I would do it, okay? And a good night all on my part.
Thanks, Mr. Solakowski.
Microphone, hello. Anybody else? Happy birthday, Mrs. DeCaro. Okay, and as a reminder, November 5th is Election Day. Please come out and vote. May I have a motion to adjourn? Oh, no?
I just wanted to give an update. We talked about it at the agenda meeting on the District Family Fall Fest. Thank you to Ms. Kim Castaigne for her work in that area. While the fest takes in over $20,000 in monies over the course of 2.5 days and solicitation. As of right now, before we pay out to all the parties and everything, we're about $10,000 to go right back into the classroom, into programs in the district. It's a nice little bit of money you get in just 2.5 days of having students and families come out together. And that's really what it's about, is having an opportunity for families to come out together, be safe, and do things like eat pie and celebrate the season. So thank you for everyone who made it possible.
I'm going to give another shout out to Mrs. Castaigne, and she did a phenomenal job. And thank you, Mr. Cittadino, for starting that. And on a lighter note, the Pac-Man machine is up and running, and it makes a lot of noise.
Oh, just one other thing, too. A parent from the community, Mr. John Halinka, who has been a passionate supporter of our district for many years. His girls went through the entire district. Just reached out to me recently and said, I'm going to give you $500 in gift cards to use to promote programs in the district and use in programs. So we're going to use some of that for our makerspace classrooms, and some have already gone to students who couldn't afford school supplies even at this point in the school year. We needed still stuff to get them over, like scientific calculators and stuff like that could be expensive. So thank you to Mr. Halinka for putting that together.
Mr. Hoker.
I just have one quick announcement. As of November 1st, we will have online and centralized registration for new students, K through 5. All of our secretaries have been working with our business department to put this process together. I hope that on November 1st, or as soon as we get our first registrant, that everything goes smoothly, but appreciate your patience as we go through the process because it is new. But we are looking forward to streamlining and making it easier for our new registrants and for our schools as well. Getting all of the documentation completed online before parents have to come into the district and helping them through this. As we get closer to kindergarten registration, when we know that we have a large number of students coming into the district at the same time, we will send out information on how we will run that to get a bulk of students registered at one time. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hoker. Anything else? Okay, I guess motion to adjourn?
Then we'll make a motion to adjourn, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Dunn.
I will second.
Thank you, Ms. Alice Foster.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Meeting's over.
Thank you, everybody, for your patience. It was a long night.